Fern's also told me that she wants to get a nose job, although knowing her, that probably just means she wants to get fucked in the nostrils.
Let's do a roast. I'm ready to be hurtful.
Fuck you!
Here are your rules, gentlemen.
What are the rules?
Rule 1, 5 jokes each.
5?
Only 5? But I've so many horrid things to say to this fat prick.
Ivor went to Eton and then on at Oxford. I'm not saying he lived a charmed life, but the only thing that's been filled with more privilege is Meghan Markle's fanny.
A pleasure to be roasted by Ireland's leading Hitler impersonator.
Well, Fern actually comes from the same area as former Prime Minister David Cameron. Finally, we could put a face to that pig he fucked.
Kind of like your look, actually. It's sort of like a Jimmy Carr drag tribute act. Right?
First of all, can I say thank you very much for having me today. I've been watching lesbians getting roasted online for years. And it's just a dream of mine to be involved, so thank you. Yeah, Susie is a lesbian, which makes her a very good booking for a television show. So when she's not ticking a box, she's licking a box, and a dick in her box would make her sick in a box.
Well, firstly, I've been advised not to mention paedophiles, making it impossible to joke about Phil's glasses. And when you have the glasses of a sex offender and the fat tits of a baby, you must just stare into a mirror molesting yourself.
That's how I unwind. Thank you, Fern. Fern there, looking like a trans Fred Flintstone. You know, Fern was actually...
Luke's a bit of a prankster, and that's why he's given my rent money to a woman in Ladbrokes. But I am also a prankster, and that's why he doesn't know this, but for the last 6 months, I've been using his toothbrush as a vibrator. And it's not even electric, so I'm really committed.
Well, I did know that, so the joke's on you.
Daniel, you creepy-looking androgynous motherfucker. You look like Ellen DeGeneres, but somehow older and more lesbian.
Good one, Rice Paddy McGuinness.
Last year, Susie's nan died, her uncle died, and then her girlfriend left her. That is a lot of people that ran out of excuses to not come to her shit shows.
Phil, you look like a criminology student who failed his exams and ends up running the student bar. You're like a 70s detective. Look at the flowers. You wouldn't even put them on a fucking grave, would you? And look at the shoes. I mean, how big a penis do you want to pretend you've got?
Bobby looks like he'd sexually assault you and then ask for £5 towards a hostel.
I was a bit worried about doing this show in the Me Too era, a middle-aged man saying provocative things to a young woman, so I would like to thank Roast Battle for giving me such a horrible old one.
I'm actually not that old.
Right.
I'm just very tired because, like you, I have kids. Unlike you, I spend time with them. Now.
So, Fern, I watched all of your comedy videos to prepare for this roast, which was a mistake, because it's very difficult to roast someone whose work you respect, and I genuinely think you're a brilliant stand-up with a lovely take on the world. Just joking, couldn't understand a bloody word she was saying. Not having a go, Fern, you're a brilliant stand-up, but all of your shows should be called Self-Pity with subtitles.
Fern was actually approached for Shrek the Musical, because she already has the accent, and they'd save a fortune on makeup.
Nick's very talented, actually. He's a singer, he's a dancer, he's an actor, he can do all sorts of things. In the industry, he's known as a triple threat. In real life, he's known as a triple heart bypass waiting to happen, you fat prick!
He has
type 1 diabetes, he'll tell you over and over. I just think you're born in the wrong time. Should have been born in a past time before they discovered insulin, so you died in childhood.
Yeah, I am a type 1 diabetic, but out of the two of us, who looks like they spend all day injecting?
Me! It's me! I do! I'm the guy!
At least my needles are clean. So,
I went to Eton where he claims never to have seen any homosexual activity. It's pretty unusual, but I guess it's hard to see when you're being blindfolded and hogtied, then butt-fucked by the Sultan of Brunei's nephews.
At school, Sophie would write a lot of Harry Potter fan fiction. Oh, sorry, I've said that wrong. At school, Sophie was a massive virgin. And now that's all changed. In fact, her nickname for her fanny is the Chamber of No Secrets. Because she'll let anything slither in.
Oh my God, surprise, surprise. Joe's triggered by the story of a boy who lived in a closet.
You got caught wanking on the internet. But I'm not going to do any more punchlines for the rest of the show. Basically, I'm going to set it up because I've heard that Joel Dommett's really good at finishing himself off.
Ian, it's lovely to be with you here today because I'm very inspired by your career, and it's nice to know that this is what I'm going to look like when I've given up on my appearance and I just do voiceover.
Slapped!
I'm such a meanie. Such a meanie. Go cry home to your mum.
Your mum's seen you wanking on the internet.
Jamie's one of these men who, well, he uses his position of power to get women into bed, which is pretty impressive, given he's got no position of power. Come on, girls, if you want a balding predator, at least Harvey Weinstein will get you into a movie.
He has so many flaws that quite often people don't even notice that he's ginger. He's like the Weasley brother that you never hear about because he was expelled from Hogwarts for trying to finger Hermione while she was asleep. Seriously, Bobby, the sorting hat would have put you on a register.
Ivo is so inbred that when he has a baby with his lovely fiancée, Hindus will worship it as a god instead of the multi-limbed freak it actually is.
He's got this sort of short, boyish, floppy fringe, which goes quite well with his short, boyish, floppy cock.
Desiree used to be a dominatrix, which is the kind of sex work where they use whips and chains, which I assume what they use to restrain Desiree as an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Susie, you're just trying to make me cry because it'd be the first time you got a woman wet.
You are a very good friend, a brilliant comedian, and so I know you're going to be able to take all of these burns on the chin, which is normally where Nish Kumar's balls sit. It's just a little bit of homophobia from the dyke.
Well, strap on for the rest of it.
Hey, it's me, Fernie Brady. Fernie Brady. Oh, Brady. I'm just going to keep repeating my name so I don't need to write a joke, which is a trademark of Phil's act. He likes to say his name a lot at the opening of sets, and it's nice that someone is saying his name with a sense of satisfaction, because usually he only hears it in a disappointed context. Oh, Phil, you've come already.
Finn does ironic racism. One of his shows was called Whitey McWhiteface. I love darkies, don't you, Finn? Mummy and Daddy own 3. It's hard for you for having an Indian man talking down to you. How about now? Can I take your order, please?
Susie proves that you don't have to be a man to succeed in comedy. You just have to look like one. But let's be honest, it's not a man, is it? It's a child. I don't know whether to roast you or groom you. Sex with you must be like licking out the Haribo boy.
Yeah, there's loads of fun in every bag.
God, Lord, this coming from a man who looks like he buys breast milk on eBay.
I mean, yeah, I did a degree. Did you do a degree?
Half a degree.
What was it in? Baseless self-confidence.
Fern. Fern is so pale when she goes to the tanning salon, she has to stay overnight. When people meet Fern for the first time, they say hello, but what they're thinking is, oh, that's the colour I want for my bathroom. Fern is so white, Comedy Central had to book 3 extra black people on this series.
Okay, it's sweet that you say that, Joe. I think you're just jealous of privately educated gays because we had money for expensive facials and you just had to get spunked on behind the bike.
Jamie's great-great-grandfather invented the digestive, meaning that Jamie was the only guy at school whose games of soggy biscuit were tax-deductible.
I went to Eton, and I'm not saying he had a rough time, but his arsehole is the inspiration behind Eton Mess.
Lovely school, lovely pudding.
And like most Scotsmen drunk at 3 a.m, watch me fucking destroy this greasy Chinese.
A good one, yawn, Connery. Ed Gamble looks like a YouTuber who denies the Holocaust.
Making fun of my alt-right haircut, that's what we're doing? You're jealous because you can't have this haircut because you'd look like Kim Jong-un. The problem with roasting a Chinese comedian is that you feel very satisfied afterwards, but then about an hour later you want to do it all over again. Phil was actually raised in Malaysia and is now doing quite well in comedy, but unfortunately his career will go the way of most Malaysian things. Take off before mysteriously disappearing.
Ed used to be very, very fat, which is something you'd only find out if he ever talks to you for more than 7 seconds. Ed lost 6 stone in 2012 after a scare that he might have had something interesting about him. Losing all that weight does have its downsides. Ed's face now has more wrinkles in it than my bedsheets after I fuck his dad on them.
Phil is so sexually naive that when his girlfriend asked him for a 69, he cooked her a chicken chow mein.
Well, that's nothing. Ed's girlfriend is such a dog, I tried to eat her.
Phil is such a notorious premature ejaculator that if he doesn't come within 30 minutes, you get free prawn crackers.
When Ed isn't modeling tiki torches for Breitbart, or helping teens pray the gay away, he likes to go to heavy metal rock concerts because you never truly stop being a fat loser.
Phil has 2 younger sisters, which means his parents are so ashamed of him that they risk their lives to defy the one-child policy.
Ed Gamble has type 1 diabetes, which means his pancreas can't produce enough insulin to adequately regulate his blood glucose levels, the stupid cunt.
Katie Melua says there's 9 million bicycles in Beijing, so why don't you try using one of them, you fat prick?
Joe had a book out last year, and he was so worried about sales that I went from bookshop to bookshop to buy all the unsold copies at great expense to myself, and just so he didn't feel so bad about it.
Thanks, mate. I love you, Nick.